But what the wisdom literature is it's the ancient version of Google and Yahoo and YouTube. It's the place that you go to figure out things. When, it was funny at the dinner table last night, we were discussing something and we began to discuss, the Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica and what it might say. And then we had this question about something and all of us did not have our phones because we were at the dinner table. And so all of a sudden we couldn't Google it. We didn't have an answer. We would have had to go to a more ancient text at some point on the bookshelf, Encyclopedia Britannica, to find out outdated answer. But that's how we figure things out, both shallow and deep in our life often, is to go search the internet. Well, it's not much different with the ancient people. They opened up these books to figure out what generations had been saying about meaning and truth and suffering and love and a whole picture of reality. Today, we are in Proverbs. Now, Proverbs, you could basically understand Proverbs as moral statements about fundamental reality. You do this, this happens. You do this, this will happen. This is what's going to happen if you do this. These are just moral statements about fundamental reality. And yet, in our time, Proverbs, anytime you hear the word proverb, you think of some ancient person giving you a wise, pithy statement, right? That's what a proverb is. I would like to rename the Proverbs, and I've checked this with the Pope, and in all new Bibles, both Protestant and in Catholic Bibles, it will be changed. It is going to be changed to the quilt of wisdom. Because here's the amazing thing about Proverbs. Proverbs is not like Psalms. Last week I told you that you can't cherry pick the Psalms. You can't just decide that you like Psalm 46 without understanding the breadth from Psalm 1 to 150. You just can't do it. It's not going to be what God intended. It's not what the writers intended. Yes, you can do that after you understand the depth of Psalms and are willing to read through it 1 to 150 over and over again. You can find ones that really speak to you, but cherry picking them is not important. They're not helpful. But Proverbs is designed that way. It is designed like a quilt. In fact, I'm going to just move real close to the screen here. I don't know if people can even see this, but here's the quilt that my wife made for a coworker. And the cool thing about quilts is that each square on a quilt is a piece of fabric that says its own thing, right? And so I think if I get this right, the process of a quilt is there's the piecing, right? And then there's the quilting, and then there's the finishing, which is the binding. And really, that's how Proverbs is designed. It is all of these squares of wisdom sewn together and then bound by the first and last section of Proverbs. It is a quilt.